from 246 pound to 150 pound. 1 year and 90 pounds weight loss. So this woman walked into my clinic at 246 pound. This was last year, last October. And BMI was 38.5. Blood pressure was 149 over 85. And today she's 150 pounds. Amazing, right? 150 pounds. BMI is 23.5. She looks amazing. She looks great. She feels great. And blood pressure is 105 over 64. And 90 pounds lighter. This is a story how an ordinary person made extraordinary, repeatable changes, you know. And so I just wanted to discuss this amazing story. And, that's the reason I work where I work. And it's very rewarding many times. And some people just take it to a different level, which kind of shocks even the doctor. And when I first met her, she was in her 50s, working long shift as a, in a hotel worker, on her feet all day, and had foot pain. Stress level was high. And then she had fallen into the most human pattern, fast food, between shifts, and to alcoholic drinks nightly to numb the day, no structured exercise, and lab shows hyperlipidemia. She had tried to lose weight before, but stress, pain, loneliness, and cravings always pushed her back. Her BMI was 38.5, which is severe obesity, hyperlipidemia, nightly alcohol 5 to 7 nights per week, and chronic foot pain, and total lack of exercise. So we chose a plan, and she was all for it. And that was the best part, actually. I was not sure whether she's going to come through the whole plan, but, a year later, it all has worked out so well. So we had a plan for her. We kind of worked together, and she was all excited about it. So we built a plan around friction reduction, which is basically make a healthy choice the easy choice. So we worked on food framework, and I used the simple plate method, and it's very popular for people who know about the plate method. Half plate is vegetables, quarter is protein, and quarter is whole grain. So basically complex carb. And no late dinners and no sodas. Only drink allowed is water and unsweetened tea, right? She replaced alcohol and sugary drinks with just unsweetened tea and water. Movement, she started walking 10 to 15 minutes after meals. But the thing is that walking was not an issue. She was always walking. As a hotel worker, you walk all the time. You don't get a chance to sit down. Medication support. So we initiated her on Wegovy, a small starter dose, 0.25 milligram, to suppress her appetite and get her into some rhythm, get her excited about it. And I continued her cholesterol medication, atorvastatin, and some gabapentin for nerve pain and the foot pain. I met several times, at least once a month, say sometime even more than that. One of the crucial step was reducing alcohol, and nightly drinks were sabotaging her sleep, cravings, and calories. So with her consent, I added a time-limited trial of naltrexone to cut the craving. And uh, it didn't do the work for her the way I wanted, but it definitely lowered the volume of cravings long enough for new habits to form within weeks. And she was so motivated. Um, and within weeks, she's like, "Oh, I'm down to uh, no alcohol most of the nights." And 4 months later, um, she was alcohol free. Amazing, right? Her motivation was just beyond my imagination. A desire to bring out the change, bring up, come up with new changes in herself. And she wanted to, she started looking herself differently, physically and mentally. Um, the first 8 weeks were about the getting to the rhythm, um, drinking lots of water, 2 liter, and extra walking if possible after meals, and eating big breakfast and big lunch and small dinner. Her sleep improved, her snacking dropped, and she told me that her feet were still hurting, but she was moving better. Um, and she started losing weight, so that made her foot pain better. Thing is that weight loss is not a straight line. By late spring, she plateaued. That's normal physiology. So we tightened the basic stuff. We added more protein at meal, veggies first bite, and at least 2 10 minutes walk. And we talked about adherence, and then we stopped her injection because her copay was high and she was having problem of affording it. So I switched her to phentermine topiramate combination, and those were like a really important because her behavioral changes continue in positive way. Um, see, her foot pain was a big problem because she has arthritis and fasciitis. So we got her, talked her into getting a supportive shoes and insoles, and talked about calf and stretching, plantar stretching, and short frequent walks. And she was also losing weight. And I put her in gabapentin she was on, and that basically worked for her. But losing weight was a biggest factor, and stretching exercise every day. Mindset and micro wins. Um, and we used micro wins, you know, like drinking water, at least uh, um, 1 liter of water before noon, and walking 10 minutes after lunch, veggies first bite, and not eating after 7, preferably 6 o'clock. Thing is that she really did not need motivation every time I saw her. She needed some kind of routine automation. The more we ritualize, the less willpower we require. It becomes slowly her habit. 1 year later, she sat in exam room, 150 pounds, BMI of 23.5, and she looks amazing. We have stepped down on topiramate and phentermine, and she is feeling the best she has ever felt, and alcohol free.